Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning on Channels Television. I'm Ayotunde Balogun.
Good morning and welcome. I'm Cecilia Omoldo.
Good morning and glad you could join us on the show. I'm Tayo Salam.
All right, what's on the menu for the show today? Well, we'll beam our searchlight once again on the national under-23 team as they hope to continue their good run of form at the CAF Under-23 Nations Cup. Well, the Minister of Youth and Sports, Solomon Dalong, is again reminding the lads of their assignment before them. Ensure you pick a qualification ticket to the Rio 2016 Olympics.
And of course, for the big one coming up in January next year, one man is actually missing in the final three. Luis Suarez, Neymar of course making it for the very first time in his career.
Also on the show, the Golden State Warriors are still perfect in the NBA after beating the Utah Jazz 106-103 for their 19th straight win. Incredible, Mr. Perfect.
Still perfect. Of course, in the course of the show, we will be telling you how it all panned out in that one. So it's going to be a lovely time on the show, so please stay with us right here on Sports This Morning. Guys, very quickly, let's start off by looking at the national under-23 team, or known as the Dream Team 6, and to see how the team has been faring so far. Remember, in their first game, they won by 3-2, just edging past the Malians, but they have an opportunity to go one better in their next game, which comes up tomorrow. And of course, the Sports Minister, the Youth and Sports Minister, Solomon Dalong, is already charging the players to go all out for victory in their next game and ensure that they get the ticket at the end of the day. That's what it's all about.
Surely, definitely. And the next game is against Egypt. And if they can get 3 points in that particular one, so that's good. They go into the next round. And that's one step further to actually qualifying for the Rio 2016 games. And this team, they look really good. Apart from that second half, early in the second half against Mali, where they lost their head.
Concentration levels dropped.
Yeah, exactly, where they considered those 2 goals. Yeah, but what I've seen so far, they're good side. They've got good players. Junior Ajayi seems to be a very good striker. He's putting his chances away when they come. So good luck to them against Egypt, and tomorrow it'll be very important for them to get that 3 points.
Yeah, I think for the coach, the Egyptian coach, he actually said something about the fact that he wants to pick the semi-final ticket, and of course he's targeting the win, against the under-23 team. I think the minister actually calling them before the game, and even after the game, calling them and says he believes they can go all out, will more like be a moral booster for them. But if they make the kind of mistakes they made against the Malians, I mean,
they can't afford to do it.
They can't afford to do that again. And all they need to do, just like they did against the Malians, start on a very good note. I mean, score your first 2-3 goals if you can in the first half, and second half, see if you can actually defend, and of course make sure that even when you're going to concede, it won't be that much, but take your chances once they come, because if you miss them, I mean, that might
pay the ultimate
exactly
price.
And that was actually what helped us in that game against Mali. Imagine if they didn't take those chances in the first half, and probably ended 2-0 in the first half.
Yeah.
What could have happened in the second half? No one really knows. So that's the importance. That's why you've got to take your chances when they come your way. Hopefully, we'll see the same level of marksmanship from the strikers against Egypt. Cecilia, you mentioned already, they're targeting the semi-finals as well too. But they drew their first game, meaning they will be coming all out, to get 3 points in the second one against Nigeria. Unfortunately, it's against Nigeria, but then we're as good as them as well. So whatever they give us, we should be able to give them back on the field of play.
And when you talk about, I was going to say, when you talk about the Egyptians, under 23, but we might be looking at the next national team, for the Egyptians in the near future. So it's a big game. They shouldn't see it as under 23 per se, going against the senior national team of Egypt. So they have to buckle up. Talking about the dream team.
Yeah, basically because, when the coach was saying, when they actually drafted, the senior national team to actually under 23, it shows that these guys are building for the future. They're not just looking at the Olympic qualifiers. They're also looking at the Nations Cup. They're also looking at the fact that making it to the Olympics next year. And if they can do that, so it seems they already have a squad for the Nations Cup in 2017. And check out, although their game was actually a draw, but if you watch the game between Algeria and Egypt, I mean, it was classic. The goals were not coming, but the players were actually good. No,
a derby, North African derby, yeah. It's always a tough
The kind of control they had in the midfield was awesome. So if Nigeria, I mean, they can just control that midfield, because that's the issue they had. And Samson Siasia said something, after the game, that they did not play according to instructions. Because I believe, I mean, just watching your players losing chances, can trap the ball.
I hope hope that won't demoralize the players,
hold on to the ball and all that. No, it doesn't, because you have to look at what am I doing on the field of play. If you're not with the ball, what are you doing? I mean, you need to mark. They were not really marking as much. I told you, and I had to hold my breath. I just waiting for the final whistle after the first 2 goals they scored in that second half. So if they make that same mistake again tomorrow, I don't know what's going to happen in that game.
No, they shouldn't make that mistake.
With the minister talking to them and telling them, look, go all out and get that victory, I just hope that they should be able to do that. And if they can do that, 6 points, and you're in the semi-finals.
Exactly. That's what it's all about, and we wish the Dream Team 6 all the best in that one. Of course, let's also talk about what's happening in Spain. Barcelona, well, it's been a fantastic year, 2015, and of course last season when they did the treble. At a point in the season, last season that is, it was like they were going to end up with nothing. But in a turnaround, I think in the month of February, they just switched full gear and went on to do the treble. Real Madrid, rivals, looking good at that point in time, just lost it somehow, and they ended up with nothing. Well, they came out tops in the La Liga Gala night, scooping a number of awards. Cecilia, perhaps you want to talk about that as well?
No, I was looking at, when the names were being read and all that, you were just looking at Barcelona, 5 of them, Messi having 2, and Ronaldo managed just 1, and that's who was done via social media. I'm talking about the fans award. It was expected because everybody loves Ronaldo, when you go to his Instagram page.
Not really.
If you go to,
maybe in Catalonia, in Barcelona.
Someone's shaking his head right now in the studio.
Come on, check his Instagram page, his followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
He gives the fans what they want. people who follow him on. I follow him on social media.
Showman, yeah.
So
Ronaldo is a showman.
That's what the people are actually looking at.
Yes.
That's showbiz kind of thing that is in him.
Undoubtedly.
So he got the fans players award, and Messi of course got the best player of course in La Liga.
Oh dear.
And he also got the best forward of course, and if you're looking at that Neymar there, he actually got the award, the best South American. I thought Luis Suarez was going to have that.
Yeah, that should have gone to Luis Suarez.
But he actually got it. No, James Rodriguez didn't get that. Of course, best coach, we knew that. Okay, Luis Enrique.
Yeah.
And Sergio Ramos, usually best defender, he'll keep having that. The best goalkeeper, not surprised, Claudio Bravo also of Barcelona. So 5 awards went to them. And well, Valencia were not actually left out. Best African player went to
Sofiane Feghouli,
which are really good.
The Algerian, doing big things.
So he got one there. Well, apart from James Rodriguez, who got the best midfielder, Ronaldo, best fan.
It was just, they could have just called it Barcelona Gala Night.
Yeah, because that's essentially what we saw. All the main awards went to Barcelona players, and you can't really argue with any of the awards. Messi, arguably the best player in the La Liga last year, has led them to titles as well, to 3 in total. Unlike Ronaldo, ending the season trophyless with Real Madrid. So
despite of all the goals he
despite
scored.
all the goals, he's always going to get you goals. But sometimes that's not what really matters. You've got to be able to contribute when your team needs you the most, to actually lead them to titles, and that's what he's refused to do. That's what he didn't do last year. But it's
in
still
7 seasons, he's only won La Liga.
Yeah, if we go back to, we can start talking about it. Just 1 La Liga, 1 Champions League, and we can go on and on about it. But then that's not what we're here for. We're just talking about what happened last night. And Barcelona undoubtedly are the team to beat.
Yeah, definitely a team to beat.
They are certainly the team to beat. Well, congratulations to all the winners there. And let's see how it pans out.
You were actually talking about the goals that they've scored and all that. If you check Ronaldo, you check Neymar, if you check Messi, if you look at the 3 of the 3 of Messi, Neymar, Suarez, and you check the goals, 121. That was before the game in the weekend. If you add that one, that's 124 goals.
That's between the MSN combination.
Exactly, in 2015. And you're looking at these strikers, you're asking.
How about the BBC?
106.
Oh dear.
So
oh dear.
Oh dear. I'm not talking about the 3 of them. I'm talking the whole of Real Madrid scored 106.
Oh my
So when you're having just 3 players having that, it's
so much work for Rafa Benitez and his men.
One player. You have so many of them. You also check the statistics. You can see the stats of all of them. The stats they had in La Liga, the goals they've scored, the assists they've made, and of course the contributions they've made and all that in the league. It shows that when you look at Suarez, you look at Neymar, and you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, you just know that these players definitely.
What about Messi? You didn't mention Messi.
Messi, because somebody talked about
I think
that
Messi
Messi's in the
personally by
class
now would be
of
like,
his
you
own.
know, just another award in the kitty. I'm used to
Yes.
these things, you know. It's
Yeah,
I don't know if he's still motivated to achieve more things.
No, come on. You can never doubt Messi's motivation.
Okay.
He's always playing well.
Okay.
Whenever he steps onto the pitch, you expect nothing less than
Fireworks.
100%. Yeah.